The rains have ceased. A great silence now settles over the African plains, replacing the thunderous drumming of the wet season. The land, once saturated and bursting with life, begins a slow, inexorable transformation under the relentless sun. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming flowers, a final, fragrant memory of the abundance that was. But this is a deceptive peace. For every living creature, from the smallest insect to the largest elephant, the end of the rain marks the beginning of a profound and ancient challenge. The gift of water, so generously given, is now being taken away, and with it, the easy times of plenty. Across the vast savanna, life had flourished under the benevolence of the storm clouds. Herds of wildebeest and zebra, their coats sleek and their bellies full, grazed on endless carpets of green. Rivers, swollen and powerful, carved new paths through the landscape, providing for all. The air buzzed with the chorus of a million lives, a symphony of growth and renewal. It was a time of feasting and raising young, a brief, glorious interlude where survival seemed almost effortless. But nature's rhythms are eternal and unforgiving. The clouds have drifted away, leaving behind a sky of brilliant, pitiless blue, heralding the dry months to come. Now a subtle tension ripples through the ecosystem. The vibrant green is already fading, a slow bleaching into shades of ochre and gold. The ephemeral pools, once teeming with tadpoles and drinking birds, are shrinking with each passing day, their edges caked with drying mud. The animals feel this change deep in their bones. They lift their heads from grazing more often, their senses on high alert, as if listening for a threat that is not yet visible but is keenly felt. The great drying has started, a quiet, creeping monster that will test the resilience of all who call this land home. This transformation is the stage for one of nature's most dramatic spectacles. It is a story of endurance, of desperation, and of the unyielding will to live. The easy days are over, replaced by a period of trial where every decision matters. The search for water will become a life-or-death quest, driving animals across immense distances and forcing them into tense, often dangerous proximity. The end of the rain is not an ending, but the start of a new, more difficult chapter in the timeless epic of survival on the African plains. The great test has begun. Days turn into weeks, and the sun's dominion becomes absolute. The memory of rain is now a distant dream. The lush grass, once a boundless feast, has withered into brittle golden straw, offering scant nourishment. The last of the small waterholes have vanished, leaving behind cracked, barren earth that looks like a mosaic of despair. The great thirst is no longer a whisper of a threat. It is a constant, pressing reality. For the grazers, the daily routine has changed from leisurely feeding to a desperate, nomadic march. They are driven by an instinct older than memory, a search for the life-giving water that now exists only in a few isolated places. The elephant herds, matriarchs leading the way, are the first to feel the strain. Their immense bodies require vast quantities of water, and the knowledge of ancient water sources is passed down through generations. The old matriarch, her skin like a map of countless dry seasons, guides her family with unwavering resolve. She remembers a river, a permanent source that lies many days' journey away. Their slow, deliberate trek is a pilgrimage of hope, each footstep a testament to their incredible endurance. They must keep moving, for to stop is to surrender to the encroaching drought. For the smaller creatures, the challenge is just as severe. A family of warthogs, their tails held high like tiny flags of defiance, root in the hard ground. searching for succulent tubers that hold a few precious drops of moisture. They stay close to their burrow, a refuge from the midday heat and the ever-watchful eyes of predators. Every journey away from this sanctuary is a risk. The air itself feels heavy and dry, stealing moisture with every breath. Survival becomes a game of conservation, of finding small advantages in a landscape that offers fewer and fewer comforts. The rhythm of life slows down, dictated by the oppressive heat of the day. Most animals become ghosts in the shimmering haze, seeking any sliver of shade they can find under acacia trees or rocky outcrops. The world holds its breath, waiting for the cool of the evening. But even the night offers little respite from the thirst. The moon rises over a silent, waiting land, illuminating a scene of quiet struggle. The quest for water is a constant, gnawing need that unites every animal, from the lumbering elephant to the tiny field mouse, in a shared ordeal. As the land dries, the remaining water sources become magnets for life. The last few permanent waterholes and the shrinking bends of a major river are now the most valuable real estate on the continent. Here, an uneasy truce is declared, born of a mutual, desperate need. Animals that would normally avoid each other are forced into close proximity, creating a scene of incredible diversity and palpable tension. Herds of impala, their senses on a knife's edge, drink nervously alongside a solitary giraffe, its long neck bent in a vulnerable, deep bow to the water's surface. This gathering is a fragile assembly of rivals. The laws of predator and prey are not suspended, merely held in a delicate balance. A herd of Cape buffalo, formidable and belligerent, wade into the shallows, their dark eyes scanning the perimeter for any sign of danger. They are a fortress of muscle and horn, and even the lions give them a wide berth. Yet, their need for water forces them to share this precious resource with the very animals they might otherwise hunt. Every creature is aware of the others, their movements careful and deliberate, their instincts screaming caution. The air around the waterhole crackles with unspoken conflict. A flock of guinea fowls scatters with a cacophony of alarm calls, their panic infectious. Was it a false alarm, or the first sign of a predator making its move? The other animals freeze, heads snapping up, ears swiveling, nostrils flaring, to catch a scent on the dry breeze. The tension is a physical thing, a tight cord stretching between the hunters and the hunted. Every sip of water is a victory, a moment of life, stolen from the jaws of the drought, but it is a victory fraught with peril. This daily drama unfolds from sunrise to sunset. The hierarchy of the waterhole is constantly being tested and redefined. The largest and most powerful, the elephants, often dominate, their sheer size clearing a path for them to drink their fill. But even they are not immune to the stress of the situation. A young bull, emboldened by thirst, might challenge an older male, leading to a brief but violent clash. The waterhole is a microcosm of the entire savanna, a place of life, a stage for conflict, and the last bastion of hope in a drying world. For the hunters, the concentration of life around the waterholes is a double-edged sword. It is a time of opportunity, but also a time of great challenge. The prey are weak from thirst and hunger, but they are also exceptionally wary. Their senses are sharpened by fear, and they are gathered in large, defensive herds that make it difficult for a predator to approach undetected. A lioness, her ribs showing faintly beneath her tawny coat, watches the assembled herds from a low ridge. She is a mother, and her cubs are hidden nearby, their hungry cries a constant reminder of her duty. Her patience is a weapon. For hours she lies motionless, a golden statue in the golden grass, her gaze fixed on the chaotic scene at the water's edge. She is not just looking for any prey, she is looking for a specific opportunity. She seeks the old, the young, the sick, or the momentarily distracted. Her hunt is a calculated game of energy conservation. A failed chase is a costly waste of precious strength she cannot afford to lose. The drought has weakened her too, and every decision must be precise. Every ounce of effort must count towards a successful kill. As the sun begins to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in fiery hues, the lioness begins her stalk. She uses the fading light and the long shadows as her allies, moving with a silence and grace that belies her power. Her muscles bunch and release with fluid precision, each paw placed with meticulous care to avoid snapping a dry twig. The ambient sounds of the evening, the chirping of insects, the distant call of a nightjar, provide a cloak for her silent advance. She is the embodiment of focus, a patient angel of death moving through the twilight. The tension reaches its peak. The chosen zebra, a young stallion at the edge of the herd, lowers its head to drink one last time. It is a fatal lapse in concentration. In that instant, the lioness explodes from her cover. The chase is a brutal, breathtaking burst of speed and power over a short distance. The herd erupts in a storm of panicked braying and thundering hooves. But it is too late for the stallion. The hunt is a gamble, a high-stakes play in the game of survival. And tonight, the predator's gambit has paid off, ensuring life for her and her cubs for another few days. As the dry season wears on, the struggle for survival becomes ever more acute. The land is now a parched and desolate canvas, bleached by the sun and scoured by hot winds. The mighty river has been reduced to a string of isolated pools, connected only by a bed of sand. Here, at the very edge of existence, life becomes a stark and elemental battle. The carcasses of the weak, those who have lost their fight against the drought, are a common sight, picked clean by vultures that circle endlessly in the thermal updrafts. It is a grim but necessary part of the ecosystem's cycle. Even the mightiest are brought to their knees. An old elephant bull, his great tusks yellowed with age, has strayed from the herd. He is too weak to complete the long journey to better feeding grounds. He stands now in the shimmering heat, his massive frame gaunt, his movements slow and labored. He is a king dethroned, a living monument to the unforgiving power of nature. His final days are a slow, dignified surrender to the inevitable, his presence a somber reminder that even the strongest cannot defy the drought forever. Yet, even in this landscape of apparent despair, there are incredible stories of resilience. A crocodile, a relic from the age of dinosaurs, lies dormant in the caked mud of a dried-out pool. It has sealed itself in a cocoon of earth, lowering its metabolism to an almost imperceptible level, waiting for the return of the rains. This ancient survival strategy allows it to endure months of drought, a living testament to the power of adaptation. Life finds a way, clinging on in the most unexpected and ingenious forms, refusing to be extinguished. Hope, however, remains a distant prospect. The air is thick with dust and the smell of decay. The tension is no longer just around the waterholes. It permeates the entire landscape. Every living thing is on a knife edge, their reserves of fat and energy dwindling with each passing day. The fight for life has been stripped down to its bare essentials: water, food, and the will to see another sunrise. It is a brutal, exhausting, and continuous struggle, played out on a vast and silent stage under the watchful, indifferent eye of the African sun. And then, one afternoon, a change. A single dark cloud appears on the far horizon, a stark contrast to the pale, washed-out sky. At first it is barely noticeable, a smudge of grey in the vastness, but it grows, slowly, deliberately, gathering mass and momentum. The wind begins to shift, carrying with it a new scent, the smell of distant rain on dry earth. The animals feel it too. They stop, lift their heads, and a collective stillness falls over the savannah. After months of suffering, a flicker of hope is ignited. The first drops of rain are tentative, dotting the dust with dark circles. Then more follow, until a steady, determined drizzle begins to fall. Soon the drizzle becomes a downpour, a deluge that washes the dust from the air and soaks into the thirsty ground. The sound is deafening, a roaring celebration that drowns out all else. The land, so long punished by the sun, seems to sigh in relief, drinking in the life-giving moisture. The long, brutal rain of the dry season is finally breaking, its power washed away in a torrent of glorious, life-affirming water. The transformation is almost instantaneous. Within days, a faint, green haze appears on the plains, the first shoots of new grass pushing through the softened soil. The riverbeds begin to flow once more, and the waterholes fill up, their surfaces mirroring the dramatic, cloud-filled sky. The animals, revitalized by the rain, begin to disperse, their forced congregation at an end. The tension that has held the land in its grip for so long finally dissolves, replaced by a sense of renewal and boundless possibility. The great monster of drought has been slain, but it has not been defeated forever. This is the unbroken cycle of Africa. The hardship of the dry season ensures that only the strongest and most adaptable survive to pass on their genes. The rains bring renewal, but they also plant the seeds of the next trial. For now, there is a time of peace and plenty. The herds will grow fat, the predators will raise their young, and the land will heal. The epic story of survival will continue, as it always has, written and rewritten with every turn of the seasons.